England's batsmen have bossed it again. It's a tale that's all too familiar for a number of bowlers these days in ODI cricket. When playing England, especially in England, be ready for at least 300. They've recorded their 7th consecutive 300-plus score in ODIs. That in itself is a record. Jason Roy wants to smash every record that exists, and he could have found himself to a double hundred. It was there for the taking, but credit to Roy, who plays just one way. His 7th ODI 100, giving England 386 once again after they lost a toss in this World Cup and were put in by the opposition. A few questions will be asked of Mustafa Murtaza and his tactics and his options of bowling, who himself came on to bowl at the end and didn't allow for Mustafizur Rahman to complete his quota, but it was a hard day for anyone bowling with the sort of mood that Jason Roy was in. On ESPN Cricinfo Matchday UK 2019, I'm Ranu Kapoor, still in the company of Daren, Ganga and Ajit Agarkar in studio. Shahriar Nafees will join us from Bangladesh. We'll also hear from Graeme Swann, who's with Alexis Nunez in Cardiff. Right, let's get first thoughts though. We've expected this. We were hoping to see this at some point. It's in England haven't disappointed.
Yeah, points to take away from that first innings. I felt this pitch was not very helpful to the seamers early up. We expected it to be a little more spicy.
Yeah.
It didn't offer too many things for the fast bowlers, and that's why you saw that good platform being laid. Take nothing away from the quality of openers that this England team has, but I think you know, the bowlers struggled a bit, and that's because of the placid nature of the surface. As expected, England wanted to make sure they sent a strong message after that defeat against Pakistan, and that they did. I think their batting, Roy getting a start, going on to score over 150, laying a really good platform for the other players to come and express themselves. So I think this total, way above par, it will really just push Bangladesh out of this game in my estimation.
It's always hard for any opposition against this England team, the way they play, Ajit, but that partnership of 128 from Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow took its time to take off. They were 15 without loss at the end of 5 overs, and then suddenly they went into overdrive. What does that tell us about the first hour or so?
I think there was a little bit in it, I mean, which you expect, fresh wicket, wicket under covers. I mean, the ball swung a little bit. First ball, I think Mashrafe bowled, there was a little bit of shape and nothing after that. I think they took time to get used to the pace of it. But that's what they can do. I think after 15, they were 115.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of ability, not just those two at the top have, but all through that lineup have, which is why you need to keep picking wickets, which is why you need to have your best options bowling at the right times to pick those wickets up. Shakib bowling, what, 7 overs in the first 17?
Yeah.
Without picking a wicket. If he was picking wickets or at least keeping the runs down, you could understand. So those sorts of we said before the game, Bangladesh needs to have their best day.
Yeah.
That also means good decision making. I don't think they made. It would have been hard for anyone against that batting lineup, but the decision making wasn't great.
Okay, then let's go straight to Shahriar Nafees. And the importance of Mustafa Murtaza's tactical acumen, Shahriar, is why he almost commands a place in this team in spite of his abilities with the ball on the wing. But today, the point Ajit makes, an extended opening spell for Shakib of 5 overs without a wicket. Mustafizur Rahman bowling just 3 overs in the first 25 and coming on to bowl only in the 11th. Did Mustafi miss a trick or two, according to you?
First of all, what I would like to say is you don't expect only 2 bowlers to take all the wickets. When you are having a team of 11 players, 5 bowlers are playing, the 5 bowlers need to contribute with the ball. It's not only Shakib or it's not only Miraj. You need all the bowlers to contribute. At this moment, I think the team is depending on those spinners too much. The fast bowlers in England must come to count. Without them, Bangladesh are not going to do well. Yes, in odd matches, Shakib or Miraj might take wickets, but if the fast bowlers are not playing as well as the spinners, Bangladesh is going to struggle. Bangladesh didn't bowl well, they didn't bowl at all. We didn't see enough wicket-taking balls, we didn't see enough dot balls which would have put the batsmen into pressure. definitely are not good day for Bangladesh with the ball.
Okay, we will come back to discuss just in detail about Bangladesh's bowling, but let's give full credit to Jason Roy and the rest of the English batsmen. And it is a 9th ODI 100 for Jason Roy. I stand corrected. Let's just have a look at that innings in detail and then move to Cardiff, where Alexis and Swann are waiting patiently. He was just 5 short of, or rather 6 short of scoring or registering the highest individual score for England in a World Cup. It's quite extraordinary that Andrew Strauss at 158 in that tied game at Bangalore was first, and he crossed Dennis Amiss, whose record goes back in the first ever World Cup. So it's like English cricket was just sort of stagnant for all those years in between, that they never had these sort of numbers in ODI cricket. But this is a different beast. Jason Roy is a different beast. Let's go to Alexis Nunes, who's got a different beast of his own, and Graeme Swann, and let's find out what Swanny made of the first 50 overs. I'm sure he'll be dancing even without a band now.
Well, Ranak, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say that there's no music going on behind us, but Swanny has not stopped dancing. Now, Swanny, of course, the main topic that we were talking about in the preview is to see exactly how Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow would fare coming up against a big century and a half. I mean, I'm no expert, but pretty good, right?
Absolutely, and the first 4 or 5 overs, as an English supporter, were very nervy indeed. Shahriar bowling his round arm, left arm spin, not really turning it, but really looking like getting Jason Roy out any moment. They only had 11 runs in the first 5 overs, remember that. Then all of a sudden, what Mortaza got really badly wrong from a Bangladesh point of view is he kept putting seamers on. He kept taking the spinner off, trying an over seam. That released the shackles for Jason Roy. His innings after that was brilliant. You know, the best thing, even though he got out for 150 and everyone said, I heard you at the top run, he said, could have easily got a 200 there for the taking. Yes, it was. And he could have easily just pushed it round. But the actual point that he just went, right, I'm going to hit 6 sixes and an over, I'm going to get 300 here if I can, shows me that it actually reignites my belief that England can win this World Cup. They're not referring to type. They're not going back to the old sensible personal milestone, get the 200. Jason Roy was thinking, no, I'm going to break all manner of records here. So that was brilliant for me to see. It was a great knock, ably supported by Johnny Bairstow and Owen Morgan and Jos Buttler. The one area of concern for me, Jos Buttler, he kept shaking in the BBC box. We think he might have just pulled a gluteus maximus, which to you or I is a bottom. If he has, that could be an issue moving forward.
All right, well, exactly. There you have it. So concerns surrounding Jos Buttler, but he looks still pretty good out there. I mean, he did get some runs on the board, but hopefully he's able to hold it off so that Swanny can keep dancing.
Oh, God, the celebrations are so much in England at the moment. With every innings, they tend to get one step closer to the World Cup. And even our camera person and the guy who operates the internet there, everyone's dancing. Everyone's forgetting their job. But I like the point that he makes about Jason Roy. And I know in India, we get very obsessed with these milestones and getting to breaking records, getting to 200s. Maybe that's just how some players play. But it explains why England get to 350, 360 more often than a lot of other teams.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they had wickets in hand. I think there were 6 sixes for the taking there. Yeah. And that must have tempted him to go for it. I'm sure he would have been happy to get a double 100. I don't think there are too many batsmen who at that stage would nudge around for a double 100. But that's the way they batted, and that's what's made them so dangerous. I think Vokes and Plunkett coming and smashing towards the end tells you that there is ability throughout that lineup, which is why all teams are wary of them. You know, what 7 300 you mentioned? It's not that easy to get 300s in one day game, even though the game's changed so much.
I agreed. One other thing is sort of if you're looking at oppositions now, Daren, you're thinking where are England vulnerable, and you'd obviously go with early wickets, put them under pressure, get a couple out quickly. There have been 2 games now that wrist spin has got a breakthrough early on. Today, they perhaps almost expected, or were they expecting some spin to come on? Now, they had the left-arm spin of Shahriar. Was Mustafi just a little too desperate to get that wicket with spin, and did that in some ways backfire?
We spoke about how teams will have the opportunity to look at what has gone and adjust accordingly.
Yes.
And I think what you saw with South Africa against England, opening with the slower bowlers, I think England are better prepared mentally for that challenge. And you can see it in the manner in which our both openers played today. They were very watchful. They were mindful that this is a line of attack used by opposing team, and they kept that out. And that is what led to these two, Bairstow and Jason Roy, getting a good start at the top of the innings and eventually It's a continuation of the narrative they've scripted for themselves in one-day cricket. The mindset is one of intent, one of positivity, and that's why you're seeing this England team performing so well. To add to what an opposing team can do, it's a formidable batting lineup.
Yes.
So you've got to think about ways of getting these individual players out. If you can use the right bowlers, you can, create 10 wicket-taking deliveries. I think that's where the mindset has to be from opposing teams to restrict and to curtail this England team.
One way of restricting in this in this current environment, Shahriar, has been the use of wrist spin. And now if I look back at that Bangladesh team and look forward to the rest of their campaign, it does feel like one challenge, Shahriar, for Bangladesh and Mushtaq will be that they don't have that wrist spinner. If you do get a pitch like this, which is flat and not quite helping much, do you see them lacking just a little bit of potency like other teams do? Shadab Khan had a big impact in the middle overs, bowling leg spin against England. Bangladesh don't seem to have that. Is that a weakness or a concern for you?
Bangladesh does need to find a very good wrist spinner. If you look at the ICC bowling ranking, most of the wrist spinner are dominating. Even in the T20s, the wrist spinner are dominating. The problem at this moment, we don't have enough wrist spinner. The second thing is to make a wrist spinner or to have a world-class leg spinner, you need him to play and play for a long time. Sometimes what happens, a wrist spinner can be costly. So in the age levels or the club levels, you don't want to take that risk. But what I believe, for the betterment or for the better future, you need to take that risk. You need to give those wrist spinners enough opportunity to bowl in the matches so that they become confident and they can play in the high level. I believe Bangladesh needs to focus on this area. They need to invest in this area so that not in couple of years, probably in 5 years, we find a very good wrist spinner who can be a very good wicket-taking option. Other point I want to make is, if you look back like few years, there were left-arm spinners who were dominating. Some in the middle, the off-spinner were dominating. Now the wrist spinner are dominating. So you need to feel the vibe. You need to catch the wind to sail away. And Bangladesh probably haven't done that.
Yes, Ajit. Very
Just to come back to that first point that he may not in this, the seam bowlers. The seam bowlers have got to have an impact.
Yeah.
I mean, you win the toss, you elect to bowl first. It's not because your spinners can have an impact with the new ball. I think if they do, well and good. But otherwise, your seamers have to try and get some wickets with the new ball, which at the moment, nor is Mashrafe. And Mustafizur, for some reason, has been held back on I think, most of these games.
Yeah. No, and I know what you're saying. If that's the tactic you're employing, then you'd rather bat first. Try and put runs.
And the mindset, I spoke about that mindset of wanting to take wickets. If you start a game thinking about the end and who will be bowling at the end, I think you're having the wrong mindset. You've got to be able to take early wickets against England and try to control the game.
Okay, it didn't quite happen for Mashrafe Mortaza today, but there's still another half of cricket left in this game, and we've got the chase to look forward to with Daren, Ajit, Shahriar and Swann. Stay with us.
M is for minnows. A fair number of teams have been handed the tag, from Zimbabwe to Kenya, Ireland to Afghanistan. But real, authentic minnows? Just 4. East Africa, Scotland, Namibia and Bermuda. Why? Because of the 20 teams that have played in at least one World Cup, these are the only 4 that have failed to win a single match. East Africa lost all their matches in 1975, as did Namibia and Bermuda in 2003 and 2007.
England are looking good at half-time in their third game of this ICC Cricket World Cup 2019. Bangladesh have all the work to do. Daren, Ganga and Ajit Agarkar are still here, so too is Shahriar and Nafees. But let's go back to Cardiff now, where Alexis Nunes and Swanee continue to stay with us, and Swanee's smile continues to grow. Alexis, Swanee did say at the start of the game he was gutted that there was no Moeen Ali. I wonder if the first 50 overs have made that decision look a bit better. Give me thoughts from Swanee and have a nice chat about how England are going to go about it with the ball now. All yours.
Thanks so much, Ronak. Well, he's only smiling some, stopping him for selfie, so he's just got that planted on his face. But let's talk about the England bowling now, because the guys on the studio touched on some of the difficulties that the Bangladesh bowlers experienced. I'm sure you will know it as well, probably not getting as much from the seamers as we would like to see off of this pitch. So how do you see England going about this then?
Well, England are going to go about it as they have. They've got 385. They're not going to get these chased out. If they concede this many runs now, Bangladesh deserve to win the whole competition, put it that way. But the very fact is this has not validified their decision not to play Moeen Ali. If anything, this makes it a worse decision, because when you've got a huge score with scoreboard pressure, that's when your 20 overs of spin really come into the game. With that scoreboard pressure, the tightening of the screw, it's what we've seen through this World Cup. That's how you win games. That's how England have won.
Right. Swanee and Alexis, I'm going to tell them to spend less time partying and dancing with those guys and make sure that they get us their thoughts uninterrupted. But we'll hear more from Graeme, Swann and Alexis Nunes as this game goes along. Let's continue the chat though with Ajit, Daren and Shahriar and just talk about what we've learned of this pitch. Is it so hard to bowl, Ajit, so flat, or will we see Adil Rashid or maybe Jofra Archer and Mark would have a bit more pace about them, get more out
I
of
think
this?
we'll see a different challenge for Bangladesh. Not to say that Bangladesh can cope with it, but you'll suddenly find the ball doing a little bit more or scoring a bit more difficult than it was. I think, keep coming back to that. I think Bangladesh seamers need to step up at in this tournament. I don't think they're going to win the tournament with spin only. We'll see that when England bowl. It may not do a lot. It's still a good pitch. I think the square boundaries look quite big, and because it's a goodish pitch, they can actually now go shorter length and attack Bangladesh that way and try and make them score off the short ball. So, I think, look, England obviously have a lot more teeth in their attack than Bangladesh did.
You know, I'm going to wait till the end of the game to have a more detailed analysis with Ajit and Daren and Shahriar and Swanee about Bangladesh's bowling, because let's be fair, in the first couple of games, the batting's been pretty good in the first game. Second game, they managed to make a game out of it, but are there still vulnerabilities of Bangladesh with the ball? We'll have that chat at the end. Let's focus on the chase now. Shahriar, when you're an opening batsman and you know you need to chase 390, I guess there's only one way you're going to play. So take me through the intent of the Bangladesh batsmen and whether this sort of score demands any improvisation with the batting order possibly.
First of all, I would like to cherish one memory, not a good one. When the match I got my debut against England in Nottingham, we were chasing 394. So it's not a good feeling for an opener to go down and chase 380, something like that. But I think, or I believe, Bangladesh will not make any changes into the batting order. The batting order will be the same because Soumya and Tamim, Saqib, Mushfiq, these are the four guys. If you want to chase 380 plus, you need these guys to fire, and then the batsmen will follow. It will be a hell of a task for Bangladesh to chase down those scores. I'm saying almost impossible, because England has a very good bowling lineup. But in cricket, anything can possible if you believe and if your application is well. Hopefully, Bangladesh will come into the batting with their right application.
You know, I'm just going to end one last thing with you. What do you tell each other when you're openers? I'm just opening that game, 223 all out Bangladesh, Javed Omar 59, Shahriar Nafees 10. I know it was a hard day, but do the openers talk to each other when there's a big score coming up, or do you just not look at each other and say we're both going to just smash it?
No, you need to back your ability, basically. You need to back your ability. You need to come, you need to be focused, you need to focus, you need to plan well. Because if you look at England's batting, they didn't come and start hitting all over the park. They were like scoring 6 runs per over, and when they thought that now this is the platform to go big, then you can go big. You have to cut down the plan the overs. You have to make the say 10 overs. We need to bat 10 overs like that, then 10 overs like that. You cannot chase 380 plus from the first ball. You have to have those bulk of overs, and you have to go accordingly. the team management is there. They are going to send the plans. It's for the batsmen who need to execute the plan. And if you are executing the plan like the bowler did, you will not have any chances in this match. Hopefully the batsmen will try to cover up the mistakes the bowler have done today.
Okay, let's see. Let's hope it's a good chase. It's a close chase. Bangladesh already set one record in the first game. If they have to come even close, they'll set another. We'll be back for viewers in the Caribbean with Shahriar, Ajit, Swann and Daren with thoughts. For now, it's time to leave you with the chase. And viewers on ESPN Cricinfo, stay right with us. I'm going to, in fact, even try and take some of your questions and comments that are going to be coming in on our Facebook feed to our guests. Before that, we do have our Hotstar top comment of the match. So let's have a quick look at that. And remember, you just need to go on to Hotstar Watch and Play and not just watch the game, but get involved. Interactivity is the key at Hotstar Watch and Play. But on Hotstar, our top comment in this game, this is from Shahriar in Agra. Is Kohli's prediction about to come true? Can England get to 500 from here? Now, I like this because around at the halfway stage, it was there. It was there for the take. If they would have gone about 9, 10 and over, that could have happened. Now, I don't know how much England are thinking about these sorts of things, but whether they're thinking about it or not, it does seem like a realistic possibility, isn't it?
It does, and it does because of the quality of players they have and the appetite for run scoring. You look at players like Jos Buttler, you look at Jason Roy at the top of the innings, Joe Root, somebody that glue the innings together. You would think that if they have a good day and against a weak bowling attack, they might be able to accomplish it. But I don't think that is uppermost in the minds of these England players. They're about making sure they play a complete game of cricket. They're a well-oiled machine from what we've seen with them, and that wouldn't be high priority. I think it's about improving all departments of the game and getting consistency so that when they meet the bigger teams like an India, like an Australia, they'll be able to respond properly.
One thing that I'm very curious about is how England get into overdrive very early, and that's almost changed the way other teams are playing there or approaching their one-day cricket batting, and we just kind of break this innings down, and you're seeing this at the end of the 30th over, they start. So they've made the last sort of 15 over the last 20. Sometimes with Johnny Bairstow still around, it becomes the last 25 or last 30. Does that, Ajit, come only with a sense of security about how deep you bat? Or do you think this is just to do with the kind of players that they're choosing to pick?
Yeah, not just how deep you bat. I think it's the players that they have. I think that's the one thing they changed after that 2015 World Cup. They tried to identify the players to play a certain way. And the players have actually taken to the... It's not easy to just go and smash runs. I mean, you've got to have the ability as well, which they seem to have a lot of it. I think all of them. They were 114 shot today, so 500 is a monumental score. I think on a smallish ground, maybe that batting has ability to achieve it, but still a long way. It's a real worry for a lot of the teams.
Yeah.
Because you put them in thinking there's freshness in the pitch, and they end up scoring 386. You're worried to let them chase. You really have to be at your best against this thing. I know there are lot better attacks in the competitions in India or Australia, where obviously it'd be a bigger challenge. But it's a batting lineup which, if it gets going, can get if they bat first, can put you out of the game or chase anything. Which is teams will be wary after that performance again.
It does look like they've battered Bangladesh out of the game, but never say never. Stranger things have happened in England with big scores in World Cup cricket too. It's never happened that anyone scored these many runs chasing in World Cup cricket, so we do get to see that, or anywhere near. It'll make for one hell of a post-match show, for which I hope you do join us. Many thanks to Shahriar and Nafees from Dhaka, as well as Ajit, Agarkar and Daren Ganga. We get thoughts from them at the end of this game on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday UK 2019.